trying to get my sound up and going so we can get started. See if I can get this Rodecaster Pro to go. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, here we are. Here we are. So, welcome to my live stream. I haven't been live streaming on here um, as much as I would like to, but that's neither here nor there. I think I have found I wasn't really sold on the content that I was putting out, but I got it now. So, if you are watching live or you're watching on the replay, definitely drop comments in the comment section. Tell me where you all are watching from, or, you know, why you resigned or am thinking about resigning or retiring from the school system. This is going to be an informative live stream. If most of you all don't know, my name is Michelle Williams. I go by the live streaming teacher. I also have a channel under the Ignited Teacher, but this platform is a way for me to merge my educational advocacy work through entrepreneurship for teachers who have left the field of education or have resigned or am thinking about resigning, or teachers that were pushed out um, earlier than they would have liked to have left, well, been in the school system. So that's what this platform is about. And I think, it's appropriate for the time in which we're seeing with the public school system. It is something that is, I'm passionate about education. I teach mathematics, hence the background. And you can learn more about me as you become familiar with my platform, channel, and content that I am putting out. A little bit about me: am the owner and creator of the Math Intervention Academy. I created a framework called the Math Intervention Cycle, and I started my educational career when I was 25 years old, 25 years ago. So that tells you my age. And I am um, passionate about math education and getting children to become mathematically proficient. And I believe that's through intervention and intense intervention. So you can learn all about that part of who I am from the Ignited Teacher. You can go to theignitedteacher.com. So tonight's introduction is about why now is an excellent or good time for educators to become entrepreneurs. As I go through this live stream and talk about different things that are happening, I live in Texas, and as you know, Texas has gone to hell in a handbasket, right along with Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, all these Jim Crow states that have histories of oppression of minorities. And Texas is at the bottom with the state of Florida. I used to live in Florida and I hated it. Literally, I hated it. I'd rather do childbirth again than to repeat living in the state of Florida. That's how much I did not like it. And I was young, real young then. I was 23 at the time and I hated it. It just, yeah, not much to talk about. I was ready to go. But anywho, for those of you all who are not familiar, let me fix this. I don't know why. My head is cut off. I'm going to fix it right quick. There we go. Um, you can download my virtual workshop roadmap. It takes you through the roadmap, getting started with the teach model. If this you're an educator, and I can take other educate well people who are not educators, but this is specifically speaking to educators. Um, if you're interested in downloading my virtual workshop, it goes through the teach method. T stands for technology. E stands for engagement, A stands for activity, C for conversation, and the H is for help. It's a framework to help teachers get started with live streaming, how it's a planning tool. And in education, we're used to that, but it helps you go through the process about with planning a workshop or live stream. So let's go ahead and hop into it. And if you have any comments, drop them in the comment section. I'll be watching on Instagram and I'm live streaming on YouTube. So the first thing I'm going to start with is this Department of Education pick. This was bananas. I knew that we were going to have to expect um, some foolishness. I ain't gonna even say some. I'm gonna say a lot of foolishness under this administration, and I'm not gonna get into the politics of it because they're self-explanatory. Um, this is who Donald Trump has named as his pick for education. Um, Basically a nobody, has no educational background, has nothing, and people don't understand the Department of Education is important. It really is. If you don't know what the Department of Education does, the Department of Education gives money to Title I schools, and also they give money to for special education. So he's saying that he's going to send all this money down to the state. Can you see imagine how that's going to look coming down from Texas, Georgia, Florida, Louisiana? Louisiana is corrupt. I lived there. I taught there for 5 years. It's corrupt as it can get. Can you imagine them getting hold of all of the Title I funds and all of the um, all of the special education funding? Texas can't even get it right because they got dinged by the federal government for putting a cap on how many special education children can be in special education in the state of Texas. Imagine that. Because they were saying that kids had to meet a threshold of like a 15 or something on the evaluation tool. So, yeah, can you imagine that happening? It's ridiculous. So, he wants to send the money back down to the state. So let's get back into who this Linda McMahon is. Um, so on this next part of the article, it says that she is the board. First of all, let's be clear. She bought her position. Let's be clear on that. She bought her position and she's a Trump donor. That's what she is. She bought her position to be in part of this. So that's what it says in the article. Hold on, let me find it. They said that she was appointed to in 2017 and resigned in let me see. in 2019 to become the chair of America First Action, a pro-Trump super PAC. So those of you all who do not know what a super PAC is, a super PAC is called it stands for Political Action Committee. That's what it stands for. So it says AFPI has raised millions of dollars since it was founded and has been described as a White House in waiting. A White House in waiting. So that's what we're up against. So a White House in waiting. Um, and it said it's planning potential policy proposals for Trump's second term. Trump's education secretary could potentially be tasked with overseeing the department's demise after the president-elect repeatedly called for abolishing the agency on the campaign trail. It will be difficult to get rid of the entire department, which delivers federal funding to nearly every public K-12 school in the country and manages the 1.6 trillion federal student loan portfolio. I can't see on that. So that's so you have someone who does not give a hoot about public education overseeing the Department of Education, which has a $16 trillion portfolio, which, here's what you don't understand, it encompasses Pell Grants, federal student loans. Remember those loan forgiveness programs that, some of us took part in? Those are going to be wiped out. That's a done deal. So, now is the time for activism and advocacy for public education. I know that some people are saying, well, I don't get into politics. I was at the gas station and this guy had moved here from New York. And I asked him, I said, well, did you vote? He was like, oh, I don't get into politics. What? You don't get into politics? And it irritated me so to the point where I was like, we don't need more non-voters in Texas. You could have stayed in New York for that. So what I'm proposing here is entrepreneurship as a way to help mitigate and push back on some of these policies that we're going to eventually see come out, because what they cannot control is information, and the information that is lies within educators who were passionate and left the field, who were passionate veteran experienced educators that were pushed out due to the ignorance of policy that does not make sense. Which leads me to the state of Texas and all its infinite ignorance. Texas approves Bible-infused curriculum for public schools. That's the state of Texas. I told you the state of Texas is right down there, slumming it at the bottom with Florida, Georgia, Louisiana. So let's get into this article. It says the State Board of Education today gave federal approval. Hold on, I lost my spot. Federal approval, final approval to a controversial education curriculum that, let me see, move my head, that features numerous biblical references from stories about King Solomon to Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. Now, here's the thing, and then we have a Facebook group for the teachers in our school district. And here's the thing. The teachers are saying, well, I'm a Christian. I have a problem with it. Well, my response was, what does being a Christian have to do with this. I said wrong is wrong. If you're going to use the little Christian, oh, I'm a Christian and it bothers me, no. At least say something that people are going to pay attention to and are going to not shut you down. Say, I'm a Christian and I believe in separation of church and state. I'm a Christian and I believe that our rights are important. And I believe that all parents' rights are important. Because at the end of the day, this does not, it's wrong. It tramples on parents' rights, it tramples on our rights as citizens. There's not one teacher that I know that has good sense says that this is okay. And I tell teachers at the state level, yeah, it may say under Texas law you have immunity, but it does not make you immune from a federal suit. So, this is what we're up against. And the reason why this is a good time for you as a veteran educator, as an experienced educator to become an entrepreneur, because what you can do is put a product out there that competes with this foolishness that is coming out of these departments. And at the end of the day, they can say that, they can you can't control what teachers teach in a classroom. You can't control what they don't teach because there's not enough personnel to monitor what they don't teach. And if we sit idly by and do not put products out there, and that's what entrepreneurs do, they solve problems for the marketplace. And the problem that we have right now in this space is a lack of quality instructional material. And that was part of my reason when I started my business in Louisiana. There was a lack of quality on grade level resources for my students. Louisiana was so far behind that I used the Texas curriculum to teach my students. No brainer. Because they were so far behind. So far behind. And now is the time for educators to help with, because somebody got to teach the children. Somebody has to teach. And we have younger teachers that are going into a field to be preyed upon with no support. No, none. No support at all. In my school district, they have young educators. What are they going to tell them? They know nothing. They don't. They know nothing about instruction. They know nothing about how to deal with things or even with the children because they haven't taught that long. So, as educators, now is the perfect time for you to decide, okay, what do I have that will help solve problems with the public education? Because Blue Bonnet curriculum, all these other things that are coming out are problematic. And if there's not any products that teachers create, there it will be like a cancer that spreads far and wide. And as educators, we have the know-how, we have the will to push back on this. So, if you are watching this, I'm asking you to take a moment, see where you are. And I know some of you all are fed up with education, public education. I get it. But if educators like you, like me, if we don't take a stand in this marketplace and put things out that make sense and really make a difference, then your grandchildren, those of you all who have school age children, you're doomed. You're doomed. So, hopefully, you found something that will pique your interest and want to put a product out there or even just start live streaming and start being interested in giving your views on things, because people listen to educators. Now, I know in the school system, they made us feel like we have nothing to offer. But what I can say as an educator, you have a lot to offer educators and society. So, if you're watching this, if you're interested, you can DM me, you can leave a comment, and or you can get in contact with me at the live streaming teacher at gmail.com or Michelle at the livestreamingteacher.com. So, any of those, if you're interested, because that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use what I know and the platform that I have and what I know about technology to put content out there so teachers who are teaching and are still in the field know that they have options, and we are in a pivotal time in education. So, thank you for tuning in, whether you're tuned in live or on the replay. And I'll see you all in my next live stream. Bye bye.